Thank you so much for having me.
You're very easy to talk to. You're a strong man of your faith, and that's what makes it so easy. We connected like that in the beginning.
What is up, everyone? You all know what time it is. Y'all know what time it is. It is time for yours and my favorite Monday show. And I'm talking about We'll Talk Monday. You all. Look, tonight, I don't even have a guest. I have a family member on the show with us, you all. A family member. And you all, if you are a real follower of James H. Glover III Studios or James H. Glover Studios, or are you a fan of We'll Talk Monday or any other podcast for that matter, because this girl is booked and busy. Like, she's so bad now that I got to make an appointment just to talk to my little sister. Like, it's bad out here in these streets, you all. But I'm talking to none other than my sister, Miss Altavia. So you all, at this time, I want you to like, I want you to share, I want y'all to tag and let everybody know that We'll Talk Monday is back on. And at this time, I'm bringing my sis to the stage. What is up, sis?
Hey, hey. How you
Look,
doing?
the world famous Coach Altavia. Let me put some respect on your name. The world famous Coach Altavia.
I don't know about all that.
We are so honored to be in your presence, Coach. We are so honored to be in your presence.
I don't know about all that. But it's good to be here.
Dude, like, what is this? Like your fourth episode with us? So,
I think so.
dude, yeah, you family, like legit. So, but in case people been living under a rock, I want you to tell them who you are. And you all see is now a new author as well. But I'm gonna let her tell us about that.
But my name is Altavia. I'm from the beautiful state of North Carolina. I am a mother. I am a business owner. I am a coach. My coaching business is Renew Coaching LLC. Um, I love God, and I'm just so excited to be here.
All right. So you all. She is very humble with it, as y'all can clearly
Yeah.
see. But that's why her big brother is here, because I'm a pumper, like legit, y'all. When the first time I ever had her on an episode, I believe I got 3 text messages right before her episode was finished, talking about, bro, send her my booking information. I got to get her on the show.
Yeah.
I have to get on this show. I have to get on that show. I'm like, can I
Yep.
finish up my interview with her first? Like, hey.
That's true. That's very true. And they all reached out, I think, the same night.
Yeah. Everybody reached out the same night.
Mhm.
Legit. They was texting me, put her in contact with me. I'll put in a good word for you. I got you. And legit, I am extremely proud of her, because the Altavia that I remember back in the day would not be caught doing anything like this.
Not at all. Not one bit.
So I am extremely proud that I was the first one, I think, to
Yep.
ever get you out of that cell.
Yeah.
And to watch the woman you have become now is amazing to me.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. So enough with the sentimental stuff. Enough with that. Tonight we've talked about your survived it story. But tonight we're gonna kick it up a notch. We're gonna talk about I survived it being a young single mother. Go on.
Okay.
So okay, we're gonna start it off with this. Where was you when you first found out that you was pregnant?
So honestly, this is a funny story. So I was actually working at Arby's. And my manager, he's actually my best friend now, but he was my manager at the time, and he was going around for about 2 weeks. He like somebody in here pregnant. I don't know who it is. It's somebody in here pregnant. And there was another girl that I was working with, and she, her and her husband were trying to have a baby. Like they wanted to get pregnant. So, in my mind, I'm like, yeah, so it's probably her because, she wanted to get pregnant.
You've been wanting this.
It won't me. Look, it won't me. So, I think 2 weeks passed, and he kept saying somebody in here is pregnant. Like I don't know who it is. Somebody in here pregnant. So
Right.
all of us like let's just start taking pregnancy tests just to see, because he was at that point he was getting on our nerves like.
Y'all
So
like, man, somebody just set him up. Let's find out who's pregnant so he can set up.
So, so I took one, just to take one. Cause me and him were kind of close and stuff. And so I'm like, I'm gonna just take one just because, right?
For the fun of it.
Yeah. And I took that first one, and that thing, them two lines came up. I said, "Oh, I know you lying." I took. Let me tell you something. I'm like, "Oh, I know you lying." And so, and
He's
mind
like,
you, it was
we
me.
gonna do another one. This must be a faulty test. It's gotta
Oh,
be.
I did 4 more. I took 5 total tests, and every last one of them came.
No, you didn't even do the Holy Trinity. You didn't take 3. You like, we're gonna go 4,
I'm
5.
like, oh, so it shocked me. And so the whole time he was talking about me, I just didn't know it, because the other girl never was pregnant. She had never got pregnant. It was me the whole time. And then, like a couple weeks after that, this girl, one of the other managers, was like, she had a dream that I was pregnant in a summer dress. And I'm like, Lord. But I think that was after I knew I was pregnant, but I hadn't told anybody. So when she said it, I'm like, oh Lord, okay. So yeah. So that's how I found out I was pregnant. I found out a night when I was working at Arby's.
So, all right, now that we done figured out when you found out, I want you to get into your survived this story. Like, tell as much as you feel comfortable with. You already know this is a safe space.
Yeah. And so obviously after I found out I was pregnant, I was in shock. And I was scared only because, I grew up in a Christian home, church, church. I'm a church girl, and they big on not having sex before marriage,
Mm-hmm.
and having kids out of wedlock and stuff like that. So I was kind of scared. Now that night I end up calling my friend, the one that kept saying somebody was pregnant. I ended up calling him, and I told him. And then I called one of my very close cousins, and I told her, I'm like, oh my God, I won't crying, but I'm like, I don't know what I'm about to do. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do. So, basically, I didn't come out with it until I was 10 weeks, and that was around Christmas. Or
So that was
I
everybody's
came out
Christmas
on
gift.
Christmas.
That was everybody's Christmas gift.
Yeah, pretty much. And I actually made my post on Facebook and all that for Christmas about the fact that I was pregnant. My parents had found out too. I told them before I put it on social media, but they found out about it. And they acted like I expected parents to act, old school church parents to act.
Mm-hmm.
And so it wasn't easy, because a part of me felt like I disappointed them. And then already me knowing how my relationship with her dad was, I knew it wasn't going to be good. I knew I was going to be a single parent because, he had one, because I told him, Becca, I actually told him the same day I found out, or maybe the next day. But either way, he was excited initially, but then it was a place where he thought that he could be controlling. He thought he could tell me what I could do, what I couldn't do, who I could talk to, what I could wear, that type. Like he started really just showing his colors of controlling and not wanting, just being controlling. So I ended up breaking up with him. And when I broke up with him, he told me like, "Hey, if we're not gonna do this as a family," he didn't want nothing to do with us. Well, you ain't about to gaslight me. I work in mental health. I talk to people like this all the time. You not about to try to gaslight me. So I was like, if that's what it is, that's what it is. But anyway, so once I found out, they found out, and I just kind of started to accept, like, hey, this is what it is. But still, that church girl in me, the child in me, still felt the disappointment. Like I felt like I let people down. And so I struggled my whole pregnancy. I really did not, I really could not enjoy my pregnancy like I really should have. Like looking back on it now, I should have embraced every bit of it, but I was so concerned about what people said, how people felt, how people were looking at me, and that type of thing. But and then the funny thing about it was I was starting my master program like a couple months right after I found out I was pregnant. So then I had a choice. I had to think about like, hey, am I going to go to school or am I really just going to work and focus on having this baby? But I was like, everybody expect you to drop out. Everybody expect the bad when you get pregnant. Everybody expect negativity. Like, people, they feel like a child messed your life up. So a part of me was like, you know what? I'm about to prove to people that just because you have a child don't mean your life is messed up. So I went through my whole 2 years of my master program, pregnant, no semester off, learning how to be a mom, working full time, in school full time for the first 2 years of my daughter's life. Now, I had postpartum. I did have postpartum real bad, and nobody knew. But on top of that, I had lost my great grandmother while I was pregnant, and a couple months after I had my daughter, I lost my grandma, all in the same year. So all of this is going on all in the same year. So I just battled a lot of emotional and mental, not feeling the support that I felt like because I have like people that know me know I really have a big family, but having a big family and not really having a family, if that makes sense. Like I didn't have that support like I thought I would have. So it was rough. Like it was hard. It was very hard to navigate through, and not people not understanding. And then you have people like, oh well, that's your child, that's your responsibility. So they felt like I shouldn't have a social life. I couldn't go out and do things without my daughter. Like um, trying to be in a sense spiteful and trying to prove like that's what you get for having a baby, and what you're not thinking and making dumb decisions and stuff like that. That's what you get. So no, that's your child. She go with you everywhere you go and that type of thing. So I had to battle that. I wasn't getting a break necessarily, or if I tried to get a break, it was always a lecture or something smart.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's the beginning. That was the beginning of. Now things kind of started to get better a little bit as time went on, but initially I'd say first few years was rough. It was rough.
So okay, I want to piggyback on some stuff you said because you said that your child's father basically told you, if you don't want to be with me,
Hmm.
I don't want nothing to do with this album. Has that changed Denny, or is he still that same way?
Oh, I don't talk to him. I don't like. We have no communication whatsoever. He saw her one time, and that was because I popped up at his church. Yeah, that was the ghetto version of me. I popped up at his church one time to just so he could see, or whatever. But once again, because a part of me, I was mad to a certain, I was upset to a certain degree, but also I had already met his people, so I was like, and I was talking like during that time, I was talking to his mom, I was talking to his uncle, I was talking to his sister, and they were communicating with me. So they saw my daughter. His uncle had came and visited and stuff like that. But then I'm not exactly sure all of what happened, or what all he said. But even now, I don't talk to any of them either.
Mm.
Now, but yeah, he saw her when she was two months. He saw her one time when she was 2 months. And look, and the funny thing is, he held her. People was asking him, was that his child? He said, yeah. So he ain't deny, but he just chose
He
not to.
just chose not to deal. And that's his loss because that
Mhm.
little girl is a complete little angel.
She is. Mm-hmm. Yep, she is.
All right. So now you said you did not get the support from your family like you thought you would in the beginning because you had a lot of them saying like, that's what you get, whoopty whoopty whoop. How did that change as time went on, or has that changed, Denny?
So, well, I would say because I had to have a conversation with my parents. I knew they were disappointed and stuff, but I had to have a conversation with them and let them know, like, hey, I understand that y'all are disappointed. I understand that, you don't agree with what I did. And I'm not saying what I did necessarily was right, but at the end of the day, she's here. There's
Mm.
nothing we can do about that. But at the end of the day, trying to punish me or make me feel guilty about it ain't helping the situation either. Because at one point, I was about to take myself out of here.
Mm.
I got so overwhelmed and so burned out and so tired and feeling so. And I know a lot of, because once again, I was trying to work. And then I was 2 hours from my family at that time. Meeting my parents every other weekend so they can get her so I can work on the weekends. Because at that time, my job, I had to work every other weekend. So it was a lot. There was a lot there. And I just became so overwhelmed. And then even once I had moved back home, I was staying in my parents' house for a little bit. So we was always up under them and stuff like that. And I understood it was a lot. But I had to tell them, like, hey, I still need to have some type of interaction, some social life outside of being a mama. I can't get lost in being a mama. Like, it's literally killing me. It's overwhelming me. Like, all these different emotions. Like, once again, I had postpartum. And then now looking back at it, I realized I really had depression before then. And having my daughter really just had heightened it all up and
It
added
was
to
like
it.
that was like the straw that broke the camel's
Yep.
back.
And at one point, once I had moved back home, I won't working for like 6 months, six to 8 months. I didn't work, and I was depressed, and I kept getting told, "Well, you lazy. You need to get up and do that." No, I don't have. I just can't do it. I really can't. Like my mental capacity was not allowing. Like some days I just could not get out of bed. I couldn't. So I had to have that conversation. Like, hey, I get what y'all saying. I get what you're saying, but I need a break. I got to go out somewhere. I need to do something. Like,
Yeah. Because even for a person that has that help, even they need a break.
yep.
Even they need that break to be like, you know what, like, look, I gotta have a life outside of this as well. Like,
And the thing that blows me is y'all had a whole village.
mm,
I stayed at my grandparents' house. I stayed at aunties and uncles' house on a regular when I was younger. Y'all had a full village,
and y'all judging me because I need one.
and y'all judging me because and I don't have half the village that y'all had.
Mm,
And also part of that too is you can't trust your child with everybody, family or not. So I'm not just gonna go drop her off and just let some, I ain't gonna say random people, but I'm just certain family members, certain things that I know about family. I don't trust them. And it could have been, some of this stuff happened years ago, but I still, it's just that thing, like it's always gonna play in the back of my head. Certain things that I know about
That they
people
said to you.
that they said that they done. I'm not gonna let my child go over there and not knowing exactly what kind of mindset or mind frame y'all in. I ain't doing that.
No, it's like you gotta be, especially now, you have to be even, especially with you being a single one, you have to be mother and father.
Yep. Yep.
And where most people have that other advocate, you don't. You
Mm-hmm.
have to do it on your own and be like, you know what, I gotta do double duty. I gotta
Mm-hmm.
be mama, daddy, I gotta do all that.
Mm-hmm. And granted, now I would say my parents now are like they kind of always looked out for my daughter. They kind of always done for my daughter and helped out. Like at one point, you know how to put her in daycare. I wasn't getting a daycare voucher at one point, so I had to get the help because I was paying like $800 for daycare.
Mm-mm.
So money wise, they helped me financially. Um, when it came to babysitting, when I needed to go to work,
They was there.
they were there, and they still are, even to this day. They still help me when it comes financially to her after school care. She's in gymnastics now, so they've helped me with that. Like they help financially wise. And now that I've had that conversation and I say, hey, I'm going out of town, they they do it now with no
But
problem. Like no
it's
problem.
sad that you have to even have that conversation before
Yep.
it happens.
Yep. Yep.
But there's an old saying, closed mouths don't get fed. So
Mm-hmm. But I
but,
realized, like, in the black family, in the church, they really minimize mental health and
oh
just pray,
man,
just pray about
mental
it. It's
health.
okay. God got you. You ain't got to worry. I know all of that. I'm a firm believer that God got me. I'm a praying woman. I know how to pray. I hear God for myself. I know all of that. But at the end of the day, we human beings too. We are in this world. We're natural beings, and we still have to. Mental health is still real, just like your physical health. You still got to get
Mm,
counseling. If you need medication, you need to go get medication. Like it is what it is. That's the reality of it.
man, facts. Like legit. I'm a big advocate for mental health. You need Jesus and therapy.
Jesus in therapy and medication
Legit.
if you need it.
And medical.
If
Legit.
you need it,
Like
because at the end of the day, like I said, your physical and your mental is the same, really. So just like you're gonna take medication for your high blood pressure and your diabetes, you doing chemo treatment for your cancer. If you need medication for your mental health, it's okay.
legit. It is. Now, here's the thing. For me, like legit. Monday through Friday, I'm working. On Sundays, I'm in ministry mode.
Hmm.
Now, Saturday mornings, I get up at 6 a.m. I get up at 6 a.m. and I'm headed to the gym. Give me about 4 hours. And in that 4 hours, I'm not in ministry mode. I'm not in none of that. Like, just give me 4 hours to myself
Hmm.
to decompress.
Yep.
Maybe five sometimes, maybe even five sometimes, but you got to give me that time. And I realize that if I don't take it, I start burning out and I'm like quick to snap. So it
Yep.
was like, there for a minute, ministry started getting busy. And there was certain Saturdays where like I wasn't going to the gym because I was busy handling stuff on this end. And then finally, the beginning of the year, I was like, I gotta stop at. I gotta
Yep.
stop at because this is just as important because I'm losing sight of who I am.
Yep.
Like,
And that's
yes, I know I'm the preacher. Yes, I know I'm the podcaster. Yes, I know I'm the not 7 to 4 o'clock worker.
Mhm.
But you gotta give me that. time in there too, to where like I can just like kind of decompress.
Balance. You have to have balance, and that's something that I'm still learning too, especially now, because I switched jobs and stuff like that. Because at one point I was working Tuesday to Saturday, and so Monday would be my day. Like after I take her to school or daycare, wherever she was going, Monday was my day to really spend time with God, self care,
Mm-hmm.
do stuff around the house. Like Monday was my day, but now that I'm working Monday through Friday, it's a little bit difficult because obviously on Saturday and Sunday I have her. Um, but what I've told myself starting this year that I was going to just get up earlier in the mornings. Cause me being a mom or whatever, I get up just enough to get us dressed, give her breakfast, and get her out the door and get us out the door.
Mm-hmm.
But the older I get, I'm realizing I actually need to get up a little bit earlier and prepare myself and get myself ready for the day. So my commitment is to get up at like 5 o'clock in the morning. I can journal, I can read, I can pray, I can worship, and just get kind of in the mood before I have to wake her up and get us started. So
That's it.
that's kind of what I'm working on now. Is just trying to get myself up earlier in the morning.
I like
And really just self-care and spend time, spend time with God and just get myself together.
I like that you said that where you said spend time with God and get yourself together. I love that.
Hmm. Yep.
Love that.
Yep.
So now we talked about all that, but I want to close it out with not only are you a single mom, but you an author as well. Like
I am.
another author as well. Tell us about this book.
So right now I have 5 journals out in one workbook. I am I am a very big advocate for journaling because it allows you to really um think about what you're feeling. It caused you to think. All of my journals are guided journals, which means they have different prompts and reflections in them. Um, but I like journaling because it really makes you think. It makes you really examine yourself and really evaluate, how you feel about certain things, how you look at certain things, how certain things make you feel. Um, so I have, okay, let's see. I have my first one was a 90-day transformational journal, and that's just embracing change and growth. My second one was Path to Purpose, which is a discovery journal. The third one was Discovering Me, which is a self-love journal, so learning how to love yourself. Fourth journal is Single and Strong, so those for the single ladies. How to really change your perspective on being a single woman. The fifth one was Divine Restoration. That's a healing journal where I went through the Bible and found different scriptures about healing. And each day you're going to reflect on what it's saying, how you can apply it to your life, and write a prayer. That one I would consider my unisex one, so that's for males and females. And then the last one that just got released last week is the workbook. And the workbook is really, I would say, more of a little trauma or wounded people that just need that extra push to think about, you know, how they feel, what thing, how the thing, like for instance, what lies have you believed about yourself versus God's truth about you? That's one of the prompts in that workbook. So you write down all the lies that you have been told about yourself or that you believed about yourself, and then you search scripture to find, scripture to
About
reverse that lie.
I like that. I like that. So
Mhm.
now I need to know. Tell my family the Web JC3 Web James H. Glover the Third Studios family. where they can purchase these books at?
So they are all on Amazon. So you can go on Amazon, just type in Altavia Farmville, and all of them should come up. Or you can go on my website, renewcoachingllc.com, and they are on my website. I don't know if the workbook is on my website yet, so they're probably on Amazon. But they are all on Amazon and on my website.
Y'all heard it here first. You can go on Amazon and look under her name and find them, or y'all can go over to right here. Make sure I got this right. RenewedCoachingLLC.com.
Mm-hmm.
And you can find them on there. So I want you all to go over there and make sure that she sells out. I don't want her to have a single book by the time this episode airs.
Mm-hmm.
By the end of this episode, I want her coming back to me in a week and telling me, bro, I had to make more because you all came in there, your family came in there and sold out. That's what I want. So let's make sure that happens, you all.
Thank you in advance. Thank you in advance.
Yes, legit. And you all already know this is not going to be the last time y'all see her. She might as well be. This is one of my favorite guests to interview, legit. And the reason why I say that is because even though I think the reason why she's one of my favorites is because I've known her for so long and I've seen the growth in her. So it's like looking at her, I'm just like in total amazement at what God is doing.
Yeah. Yep. Cause when we met, that was I was in a rough place. I
remember.
Mm-hmm. I was in a rough place.
But yo, guess what? You survived it.
I survived it. Mm-hmm.
That's it. So you didn't let that rough place stay as your resting place.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm extremely proud of you.
Thank you.
We will be talking to you again soon.
All right.
I promise you that. Like you coming back. So I want you to tell them where they can find you at. And then we're gonna close it out with that outro video. And give them some closing words too.
Okay. So you can find me on Altavia Farmville on Facebook, Renew Coaching LLC on Facebook, on Instagram, Altavia Farmville on TikTok. But just before I close, I really just want to just remind y'all that like healing is possible. If you really want it and if you're intentional about it, your life can be better. You don't have to stay bound. You don't have to stay stuck. You can grow. It's possible. It's okay to seek that support and to seek that safe space for you to heal and to grow and to be what you are called to be. Thank you.
So y'all heard it here first, and like she said, you can grow. So as I always say, sometimes our disappointments are nothing more than God's appointments. Meaning some things that we look at as bad, God is only turning it around for our good. Stay blessed, be blessed, and be a blessing to someone else. I will see y'all next week. Peace. Hello. We pray that you enjoyed this episode coming from James H. Glover Studios. And if you want to see more like it, follow us, like, and subscribe to all of our social media stations so that you can never miss another episode like this. See y'all soon.